Welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosset Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Indians. The nightly podcasts are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails. NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
Oh, yeah, that's steam right there. And hey, goodbye to some coaches who just recently got fired. I'm Ralph Williams. It's great to be here today on your the Tuesday edition of the Sports Corner Show. We're here every Tuesday, 4 o'clock p.m. till 5, and then from 5 to 6, Wrestle Talk, the best wrestling show all across the country and around the world. And I got to tell you, it's going to be an interesting Wrestle Talk today. And the reason why I say that is a lot of activity happening in the WWE, including what happened to Seth Rollins last night. We're going to talk about all that and more, and we're going to dissect the Crown Royal pay-per-view as well. And but today we have a very special guest with us, Brandon Keeler from the Sports NUTZ show. Brandon, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it, man.
All right. Thank you for being part of the program. And Smokin' Jim Frazier, my co-host by way of the telephone. Smokin' Jim, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm ready for this one, Ralph.
All right. And this is going to be one heck of a show today. We have a lot of fired coaches, both in college and in the in the pros. Ryan Callahan got fired by the Tennessee Titans. Mike Norvell, Florida State on eggshells, and a whole lot more we're going to talk about today, including the Steelers. And Pittsburgh RIVERHOUNDS coach Bob Lilly has been put on administrative leave. No one knows why. I tried to get Mac Grubb on the show today, but I was unsuccessful at doing so. So there we go with that. And also, we're going to talk about Pitt football, their win against Florida State, which is why Mike Norvell's now on eggshells. All right. My rant today is real simple. All right. And that rant is, I can't believe what I'm seeing out here in fired coaches. I can believe it because they screwed up. There's going to be more. The firing process has just been crazy out here. All right. James Franklin, he deserved it. The Mike Gundy getting fired in Oklahoma State. Bill Belichick on eggshells. Trent Dilfer getting fired at UAB. It's just one thing after another, one coach after another. And then later on Sunday, or Monday morning, more or less, Ryan Callahan, the first casualty of the NFL, he got fired as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. And it's going to be an interesting thing here, but that's my rant for today. Fired coaches, it's really sad. I don't like to see anybody get fired, but you know what? When you don't do your job and you don't win big games, that's when you deserve to get fired. All right. Smokin' Jim's wisdom.
Hey, great job, bro.
Thank you.
I said before the draft last year, that if there was 12 rounds, I wouldn't draft Cam Ward. I said he would be an NFL bust, and 6 games into his career, he's already gotten his head coach fired. You know, the Chicago Bears got a coach that's 3-2 right now. He came from the same program that has the Jets 0-6. I said when the Jets hired Aaron Glenn that he's going to be one and done because he wasn't able to compromise. As a head coach, you got to compromise. He came into a situation and got rid of Aaron Rodgers. Everybody around the National Football League thought Aaron Rodgers was washed up. I said if I was Aaron Glenn, I would keep Aaron Rodgers because the Jets built the whole offense around Aaron Rodgers. They got all his former wide receivers that he wanted to play. They got his old offensive coordinators and coaches. I said that he could let Aaron Rodgers run the offense and Aaron Glenn could concentrate on the defense for a year. Well, he didn't listen to me. He got in a big argument on the sideline with his star wide receiver. It looks like he's already lost the team. He looked like he aged 10 or 15 years already through 6 games. So, again, Aaron Glenn, I think, will be one and done as a head coach of the Jets.
All right. Yes, the Arizona did get crushed. I want to thank you for your comment there as well. Yeah, they did get crushed. And we're simulcasted today on the Sports Nuts network as well. Brandon, your opening statement. Go ahead, Brandon.
Man, the coaching carousel has definitely commenced. You know, we're seeing names left and right. I got a name that I have heard in the rumblings. You know, Smoking Jim, I actually have heard that too, that Aaron Glenn is probably done. He could be done at any time, is what I've been told. But how about this? Phil Longo, the head coach at Sam Houston State, I've been told that he is on thin ice. The Bearcats are 0-6. They're about to go 0-7. So I've heard a lot. I've heard so many names. You know, one name that you mentioned also, Ralph Callahan. You know, the Tennessee Titans go one and done with him. I don't know, man. The coaching carousel. We're about to see like a whole can of pink slips coming and going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, we got to pay a couple bills here. We're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios here at Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland, and that's 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Also, we are sponsored by Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland. Call Mike today, 410 area code 596-1681 for any kind of real estate. I'm going to tell you something right now, folks. The best time to come to Ocean City, if you don't want to be around a whole heap of people, is right now. Come down here right now. The last festival of the year is coming up at the end of October, the Sun Fest. You might want to get a hold of Mike for a rental. Hotel rooms here are expensive. Get a hold of him for a rental. Call his number today, 410-596-1681. And also, we are now sponsored by, and we have a new sponsor here. We're going to have a few more coming real soon. Carey Insurance Group in Berlin, Maryland, Ocean City, and Delaware. Call Carey Insurance today, but ask for Steve. Call 302-642-6201. Give Steve a call today for all your insurance needs, including for home insurance. He has the perfect plan for anyone that has a modular home or anything like that. He set me up with a plan that I was on. I had all kinds of problems getting modular home insurance or manufactured homes. So call him today. That number again, 302-642-6201, Steve at Carey Insurance. All right. Let's see what we got. We got some more comments here. All right. Stretch again. It says, sure, I jumped to Florida State now, or Florida team now, and if this keeps happening, absolutely. All right. Real quick, Brandon, I saw the Atlanta Falcons kind of upset the Buffalo Bills there. What happened there, man? Wow.
Bijan Robinson, somebody lit a fire under their backsides for the Atlanta Falcons, and they came to play it. Man, Cassie, my wife, she was on the phone with somebody. She said, sorry, my husband is probably going to scream really loud because he's watching the Falcons game, and right on cue, I screamed at the top of my lungs because I thought Drake London was going to get the touchdown right before the end of the half, and he was tackled just inside the 1 yard line. Oh, so close. But I was so happy. My Falcons are back, and hopefully that means we're about to see one of the best turnarounds you ever see in the NFC.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was kind of surprised with that. I guess Raheem Morris came up with a really good defense to go up against Josh Allen. I never expected that. I actually thought Buffalo was going to blow him out. But you know what? Atlanta's been in a lot of dogfights over the years with Raheem Morris. Last year, the Steelers played him. They won by 2, I believe, or 3 points or something like that. So, Atlanta at least has been competitive. But, it's all about wins and losses. So we'll see where it goes. All right. Smoking Jim, your thoughts on last night's Monday Night Football game, Atlanta beating Buffalo?
Well, I'll tell you, that B. John, he's a special guy, man. Not only can he run the football, but he can catch the football equally as well. He can lose you in the telephone booth, man. It's so important. He had 170 yards, I believe, on the ground and another 68 in the air. And this guy is just so special, man. His charisma and chemistry with the team, they believe in him. And I don't know why teams don't emphasize getting a really good back. You see what's happening in Carolina.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks, their back got 200 yards and close to 200 yards in a victory. Last year with Barkley, almost setting the NFL record for rushing. It opens up the passing game because you have to respect the run when the running game is going so well. So I'm happy for Atlanta. I really like their second-year quarterback. It was still a shocker on draft day when they drafted him as high because they just committed to Kirk Cousins. But, that was turned out to be an excellent pick. They got weapons all over the place, good wide receivers. So congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get started here. Let's start off. We're going to start talking about the Steelers game a little bit here. They played the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. The thing that bothered me the most was you had the ball after Kevin Stefanski had to eat it. Okay, he tried to go for it on 4th and 12, and he had to eat it. We had the ball in good field position, and we're trying to go for a field goal. Why didn't we go for the touchdown and kill the clock down so that in case Cleveland was going to try to come back? And, Mike Tomlin always uses this statement, well, I have confidence in my defense. But let's say the defense didn't do anything, and Cleveland wants to move the football. Then it becomes a dogfight, okay? I thought, and then Boswell ends up slipping anyway and missing the 54-yard field goal. Why would you do that? Why would you play conservative football? I don't get that at all. That was a bad call by Brandon's buddy Arthur Smith there, who we have as our offensive coordinator now, since Brandon's Atlanta Falcons, so there you are. But anyway, and Smoke, I want to acknowledge Smoking Jim. He was right about Cam Ward. He was right about, he's been right about a lot of things, and a lot of people don't give the acknowledgement to Smoking Jim that they should. I do, because you know what? Smoking Jim is right, just like I'm right 90% of the time. Ask Brandon. My college football picks have been pretty good with the sports. So, all right, guys, let's get started. Brandon, since you're our guest, we'll start with you. Pittsburgh Steelers game against Cleveland. What were your thoughts on it? Do you agree with my sentiment? They should have went for a touchdown, killed the clock down, and
yes,
made Cleveland really eat it.
Absolutely. And I know Stefanski, his seat is hot as red October can be.
Yeah.
And there's talks that if he loses this next game, they will hand him his papers. But I agree. I go back to the Herm Edwards quote. Hello, you play to win the game.
Exactly.
And if you are up and, there's always that possibility, step on the gas and continue. Don't let up, and you'll be surprised at what can happen. Go for the jugular. I've said this so many times when a team turns the ball over, and I guarantee you guys are going to agree with this too. Go for the kill. If you're up big, go for the kill and just end it already. And don't just lollygag around and just play just cause. Go for the win,
Yeah, the Steelers, as I've said many times, Brandon, Smoke, and Jim will back me up on this. It's better to be lucky than good. And sometimes they've been good and lucky. Sometimes they've been lucky and not good. And this was bad clock management, bad, calling. Third down, you call a running play, right up the middle. And I know the running game was working. I mean, Gainwell was running the ball well. Even Jalen Warren got involved. They had Caleb Johnson in there a little bit. So I get that, but you know what? You should have tried. You should have tried to go for the touchdown. I would have rather go for 7 points than try to give for 3 points. Have my kicker slip on the field and almost injure himself, and then we're screwed for the rest of the year because Chris Boswell is one of the best kickers in the league right now, if not the best, since Justin Tucker got suspended from the Baltimore Ravens. So because Tucker was ahead of him. All right, Smoke and Jim, your thoughts on the Steeler game against Cleveland? Go ahead.
Well, I don't have much criticism. I kind of compared the defense's dominance. It was the most dominating defense I've seen since the first Super Bowl when they shut down the Minnesota Vikings, held the great Chuck Foreman to 20 yards rushing, Fran Tarkenton, the leading passer in NFL history at the time they shut him down. What I was disappointed in is the Pittsburgh Steelers played in Ireland. They had a bye week. And you almost lose your kicker to that football field that look like a cow pasture.
Yes.
You lost Killebrew on that field. I really thought Boswell was injured. That field that they should have rolled out a new turf. They had plenty of time to roll out a new turf. They're always making excuses. PITT plan on it had nothing to do with it. You had plenty of time to roll out a new turf. They've been having problems getting that turf together since the stadium opened in 2000. So hopefully the Pittsburgh Steelers will invest. They said they're going to roll out a new field. I think it was because I don't think they would have this early, but I think because of all the slipping and sliding that was going on, I think they'll honor their word and roll out a new field before the next football game.
Yeah, I was under the that they had already purchased an artificial kind of like a artificial grassy surface. They do make those. And I was under the impression they rolled that out. When I saw that field on Sunday, I said, what happened here? Are we back to the old Heinz Field? I mean, because that was some terrible stuff back in the day. And Smoke and Jim will back me up on that. All the games that we've watched and seen at Heinz Field with that ridiculous field. And you know what? The Rooneys ought to be ashamed of themselves. And Steelers ought to be ashamed of themselves for putting that out there. And the guy who puts the field and does that should be fired. I mean, you just don't put a field out there like that and risk your players getting hurt. Like you said, Smoke and Jim, we lost our key special teams captain, Miles Kennebrew. And, because of that field, we almost lost our kicker. So, I mean, that stuff can't go on. Brandon, what do you think about the field? What's your thoughts on this?
Oh, my goodness. That field, my wife was like, what's going on with their field? I'm like, it looked like I was at it looked like you were at a sandbox is really what it looked like. And it was just, do you remember the old Veterans Stadium that the Eagles used to play on? And they used to have the mounds of divots left around. That's really what it reminded me of. I was like,
how about that field? How about that field in Rio, Brandon? How about that field in Rio? Remember that last year?
Yes.
That field in Rio? Oh my gosh, that was bad. So a lot of people got hurt and it was just terrible. So that's what that reminded me of, playing in some foreign country or some other country here, and the field's not appropriate, so. But anyway, all right, the Steelers play the Bengals Thursday, a short week this week. Your thoughts, we'll start with you, Smoke and Jim. They play the Bengals this week. What do you think?
High-scoring game, man. I think Flacco's going to come out with all them weapons, and Coach Stallman, I think in the press conference, talked about how he feared Flacco. I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been horrible on Thursday Night Football. They really need this victory to remain dominant in the North.
Yes.
I think the Steelers win 34-32.
All right, yeah, it's been some close games lately. Brandon, your thoughts on the Steelers, and I'll give you my score and what I think.
This is gonna be. I think this is actually going to be a coming out party for Aaron Rodgers for this season. I think it's going to be another signature moment. I see the Steelers coming out because the Bungles they're in a state of disarray.
Yes,
you have you have Jamar Chase and T Higgins. I understand, but they look like ducks out of the water. I could see this being like a 31-17 kind of score with the Steelers pulling up the victory. And you're right, Jim. It's just something about Thursday night. I don't particularly like the Thursday night broadcast on Amazon. I've never been a big fan. I liked them when they did the NFL Network, but I don't see it. It's not entertaining to me watch on Thursday. But I tell you what, though, if Aaron Rodgers comes out and he is on like Donkey Kong, oh yeah, it could even be a higher scoring affair. But if they come out and they look absolutely ice cold, the Bungles, they're going to make it a little interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, they could. And, I want to say this about the Bengals. They are a mess. Their offensive line has never been good. We saw it in the Super Bowl. They got exposed. Trying to protect Flacco is going to be a problem. I do hear Joe Burrow may be on his way back in the next week or so. So if Joe Burrow comes back anytime soon, Flacco goes back to the bench, and we'll see what happens with this whole thing. But, the interesting part about all this, guys, is the fact that, the Bengals are struggling, the Browns are struggling, the Ravens are struggling, the Steelers have a commanding lead. Let's hope they can keep it that way. But this is a division game, and you know how dogfights can happen in these games. So we will find out what's going on. We are live here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and also on the Kick platform. We're also on Huddle Sports Network, and I want to thank those guys for letting us broadcast on there. And we're also on the Sports NUTZ Network as well, on their Facebook and YouTube channels as well. So don't forget to tune in today. Our guest is Brandon Keeler from the Sports NUTZ Show, Smoki and Jim Frazier by phone, my co-host, if you're new to the show. And we're here every Tuesday, 4 o'clock p.m. All right, my score is going to be, I'd say 24, because usually the Steelers are averaging now about 24 points a game. I'm saying 24. I'm going to go again with 24-10 because I was close in this game, this last game here by 1 point on each side. So I'm going to go 24-10 again this week, Steelers. So that's going to be my score. I think it's going to be my score all year long because I don't see the Steelers scoring more than 24 points each game. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So we'll see. But maybe Aaron Rodgers will have a coming out party. Let's see. Let's see what he does this week against the Bengals.
Hey, Ralph.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I ask Brandon a question?
Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, what do you think? Do you think it was a mistake now that the Pittsburgh Steelers let George Pickens go? They still need a second receiver. He put up 9 catches, 168 yards, 1 touchdown this week. I think he's either leading the NFL or he's second in the NFL in touchdown catches. Do you think that was a mistake by the Pittsburgh Steelers releasing him?
To a degree, yes. We know what George Pickens is. We know he's a diva. He's always been a diva, and it's always that possibility of questioning his heart and his desire. Ralph has said it many a times. Change of scenery can do a man good.
Yes, it can.
Obviously, he's done tremendous so far being in Dallas. But in hindsight, seeing what we see right now, do I think he could have made the difference in the Seattle game? Yes. I really realistically, if you guys still had George Pickens on the Steelers roster, I could
we
see
don't lose the Seattle game. Exactly.
Yeah,
we can beat it. Yeah, we don't lose the Seattle game. You're exactly correct, Brandon. And you know what? Smoki and Jim is right, too, because, the thing is, if you're going to get rid of a guy like George Pickens and then you go and you gamble with Calvin Austin, who's always in the tub, and I always say this, you can't help the club if you're in the tub, okay? And Pensman Sports, he reported last night that he heard a rumor that the Steelers are going to trade Highsmith and bring in A.J. Brown from the Eagles. Supposedly, he's unhappy there or whatever, or A.J. Green or what. I think it's A.J. Green, right, Brandon?
It's A.J. Brown. I've also heard Chris Olave has been linked to the Steelers.
Yeah, but they want too much. I heard they want a first and a second round draft pick and Highsmith. So that's not going to happen. So, but I would not agree. I would agree that they should trade Highsmith. He's been an injury case. They're paying him a lot of money. He's been a mash unit. And I want to say this. I like Nick Herbig. I like Jack Sawyer. I told everybody about Jack Sawyer, and everybody said I was wrong. Jack Sawyer's now making a difference when he's out on the field. Smoking Jim and I said about Peyton Wilson, he's got a little slow start going, but you know what? He's not doing. He's holding his own. Cole Holcomb. We have a really, Patrick Queen, Jalen Ramsey. We got a really good, expensive defense, and we need to keep the motor running as far as the defense goes, and the offense needs to step it up a little bit and score a little more points, and get some things done. These field goals all the time aren't going to cut it. There's going to be times when you're going to need to get into the red zone and really score some touchdowns to win some of these games. So Steelers need to start doing that a little bit more with that conservative Arthur Smith offense that I can't stand. You know what I mean? So, but it's a perfect offense for Aaron Rodgers. It's not that hard. It's running the football, throwing passes, play action. That's no hard work. I mean, for a quarterback. So, and he sees the field well. He's been around a long time. I like the way he scrambles outside the pocket now. It's working out for him. So, let's just hope he stays healthy. That's all I got to say. I agree with Smoking Jim about the Jets and Aaron Glenn. If he would have kept Aaron Rodgers there, Brandon, do you believe the Jets could be a better football team right now and at least have some wins?
Yep. The problem that happened there is, Aaron Glenn, he's a great player, was a fantastic player, great coach, everything. And Aaron Rodgers and him, it's like two Rams button heads. They don't gel, but you know what though? They would come together for the
good of the team.
Of winning.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, for the good of the team. That's exactly what you have to do. And but Aaron Glenn, he made his own bed. Now he's going to sleep in it, and that's the way I look at it with him. And let's talk about Brian Callahan now, guys. Brian Callahan just got fired by the Tennessee Titans. I saw this coming when Cam Ward got drafted because Smoking Jim said it, and he was right again in his 40 years of experience in drafting and scouting and all that stuff. Smoking Jim said, and I quote, Cam Ward will not work out in the NFL, and he's not. All right. Plus, he's with a bad team in the Tennessee Titans who really, just sunk to the ground even more after Mike Vrabel left. And you hire Brian Callahan, who's Bill Callahan's son. But I'm wondering if Bill Callahan's going to take over there because I heard he's there as the offensive line coach with his son. And I'm wondering if he's going to take over or if he's going to leave and say, screw this. You fired my son. I'm leaving too. So, we'll see what happens there. Smoking Jim, we'll start with you. Brian Callahan, Tennessee Titans.
Well, I don't think Bill needs the money. I think he came out of retirement pretty much to help his son. And wow, they didn't give him many games, did they?
No, they did not. No.
But, that was a surprise hire anyway. I thought they got a little impatient. Vrabel's a heck of a football coach. You had a outstanding football coach. You're going to have down years, and they didn't have the patience to fight through it. Vrabel would have brought them back at some point. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that if somebody fired my son, I think I'm out the door as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Family's important. Real quick here, Facebook, Q Coffee is tuning in. Thank you, Q, for tuning into the show. So I had the privilege of meeting her at an event that my friend Bill and I DJ'd an event. She was at with some displays. It was involving our late friend Ralph Watson. He's up in heaven with the Lord. And so we were at one of his events, DJing an event there. And I got to meet Q. She had a nice little presentation of some products that she sells and things like that. So it was nice to meet Q, and it's good to have Q on tuning into the show here on Facebook. Brandon, go ahead. Your thoughts on this Tennessee Titans mess?
They were dealt. He was dealt a bad hand from the get go. You hit the nail on the head, Jim. You hit the nail absolutely on the head. He was, the situation he walked into. That's like saying going and. You're going to go blindfolded onto a map, and you're going to throw the dart and hope that it lands every single time perfectly at your your destination of where you want to retire. That's literally what it is. You're just hoping and praying, and it was just a bad hand. But you know what? Though, I agree. If you, I'm green right here. If you fire my son, you best believe I'm leaving. I'm
Hit
not
the road,
I'm
Jack.
leaving, you know.
Don't you come back.
Don't let hit the what is it? Don't hit the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. That's exactly
There
what
you
I'm
go.
doing, you know.
That's a good one. I like that. There you go. All right, guys, let's get into college football, and then we're going to get into some Pitt and Riverhounds talk. Pittsburgh Riverhounds have put their head coach, great soccer coach, one of the best in the business, Bob Lilly, on administrative leave. I haven't heard anything more than that coming from the Riverhounds at this point. I tried to get Mac Grubber, their media person, on here, but I was unsuccessful getting him on. So we'll try to get him on next week to see what's going on with the Riverhounds. On their way to the playoffs. They're getting ready to. They have to win. They have to at least win. They're in the playoffs now, but for their seeding purposes, they have to win these next two games, the last two games of the season, I believe, in order to get the right seed that they need in the playoffs. And they've come up short too many times, so we'll see what happens. Of course, a lot of Pittsburgh teams come up short, and so that's the way of the world in Pittsburgh with the sports teams. I want to the Penguins. They're like 4-1 right now. They're not doing too bad. They lost one game, or actually they lost two. They lost one to the Rangers. Mike Sullivan got his revenge from the first game, but they're not doing too bad right now. I believe they're 3-2, and Jari didn't look too bad in that one game. And the reason why Jari's going to look good now, guys, is because of this. And I've said this many times. Dan Muse is a defensive coach. Okay, so with that tight defense now that he's got strengthened.
Hey, Ralph, the Penguins are 2-1 and just coming off a 6-1 thrashing, and they may be 2-2 after tonight.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was wrong, but thank you. But anyway, Dan Muse has got a defensive system. I know it's boring. It's like Kevin Constantine's old system. It was boring and defensive, and Mario Lemieux didn't like it, so he fired him. And I get everybody wants to see run and gun in hockey because that's what hockey's all about, guys. Run and gun, moving and you know what I mean. But sometimes you have to go with defensive hockey to win games. And if the Penguins can win some games with this defensive style and get Sidney Crosby to score at least 2 or 3 goals, maybe Malkin score a couple, I think they're going to be okay. I really believe this year could be all right this year. Another in the playoffs and out maybe, but you know what? We'll see where they go from there. As far as the Penguins go, Pitt Panther football, real quick. We'll talk that. Then we'll get into some coaching firings in college football. Pitt, they beat Florida State. I didn't expect this. I thought Pitt was actually kind of going to get blown out in this game, but it was in Tallahassee. I got to give this new quarterback, this Mason Renshaw, a lot of credit. He's doing one heck of a job running this go offense. He should have been the starting quarterback from the beginning. I heard some stories, and I reached out to some of my sources. They said Eli Holstein had a bad season or a bad spring game, bad spring all the way across, bad training camp. And Cade Bell fought with Pat Narduzzi about the here we go again, the offensive coordinator fighting with Pat Narduzzi again. He wanted this Mason Crenshaw in this game, and Wenshaw or whatever his last name is, they wanted him in the game. He wanted him to be the starting quarterback because he knew the system very well. And now he's proven Cade Bell's point to Pat Narduzzi, and Pat Narduzzi got egg on his face now because he should have started this kid at the beginning when Cade Bell had recommended it, but instead he wanted Eli Holstein. Oh, he's a veteran. Oh, he's been around. Oh, he's done this. Oh, he's done that. And then it ended up being a dud. Smoking Jim said it. He was a 5th-string quarterback in Alabama, and all of a sudden he comes to the University of Pittsburgh. I think that their offense runs a lot faster with Mason than it does with Eli Holstein. Brandon, we'll start with you first. The Pitt Florida State game. What were your thoughts on this game?
Florida State has they have improved. Yes, they have improved from last year, but they still are. Florida State, by the way, folks, they haven't won a home ACC game in over 700 days. That's That's a mind-boggling stat right there. But I kind of knew Pitt was going to win this game, just because of Florida State. They're the most. This is what I say regularly about a lot of teams. They are the most consistently inconsistent team you will ever watch. You have no clue what Florida State team is going to show up. Is it going to be the team of old, or is it going to be this team where they come to play and they mollywop teams, Clemson. But then if you go go to other times, you can see them absolutely lay the fattest goose egg imaginable. So I was rather surprised at the level of competition that was presented to us, but I'm not surprised that Florida State lost. I mean, I also believe Mike Norvell he is already signed, sealed, and about to have his delivery given to him about, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of Tallahassee. That's how I feel.
Yeah, he's got to get going. I'm going to sound the alarm on that. Florida State got to do something with him. He was a good coach at Memphis. He was once the co-offensive coordinator here at Pitt under Fraud Graham. And Brandon knows about Fraud Graham because he coached in Hawaii. So, I mean, and he's ran every program into the ground that he's basically coached. So Fraud Graham. So, I don't know what he's doing now. I think he's working bartending on cruise ship.
Bagging groceries.
Yeah, bagging groceries or working on a cruise ship bartending or something. So I wouldn't even give him that luxury.
I'm not going on that boat if that's the case.
Well, you know what? He might be in Hawaii bartending or working at McDonald's or bagging groceries. I don't know.
Him and Norm Chow are probably the best of buds.
His wife's got expensive habits. When she was up here, when he was up here at Pitt, she hated it in Pittsburgh. They don't have this, they don't have that. I heard she has very expensive habits. So that'll do it to you. Smoking Jim, your thoughts on the Pitt game versus Florida State?
I thought Pitt played a heck of a game. I think they surprised a lot of people. I would love to get excited about this freshman quarterback, but we kind of seen it before. We seen it last year with a freshman quarterback that looked like he was going to be the franchise, and he fell off. Hopefully, this young man can develop. His dad was a baseball player on scholarship at Michigan, and he grew up a Michigan fan. So Tom Brady went to Michigan, so maybe pick at their next Tom Brady. But he looks good. He threw a couple bad interceptions. And he was flawless the first week, threw a couple bad interceptions. But Pitt got some weapons, man.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And this guy can scramble. He can run. He's fearless. And so if he's the real deal, he was only a 3-star coming out of high school. But if he's the real deal, Pitt got a chance.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And if they keep Desmond Reed healthy, they have a chance in a running game. They got a few freshman running backs that aren't doing too bad right now. But, they got to get something going here. That go offense is not moving fast enough. I've said it many times. You got to have the right talent for that. They had a good quarterback in Julian Duggar, and they let him, or he walked away because he played in a bowl game, went into 6 overtimes against Toledo. I thought he did a pretty decent job, but then all of a sudden he leaves for Washington State, and he did mop-up duty when they were slaughtering some team. He did like a 1-minute mop-up duty, but he hasn't seen any action there. And his father was pissed off at Pitt because Narduzzi made some promises to him, and they ended up leaving, during spring camp and transferred to Washington State because they brought in, some other quarterbacks, and they promised Julian Duggar he was going to be competing for the starting job, and then you go and bring in some kid from Oklahoma that transferred and a few other people. Narduzzi has a bad habit of doing that, and I'm just saying, Alan Green's already put the word out. If Narduzzi has a bad season this year again, I think he's out the door. Pitt alums starting to take a collection right now. All right, let's talk about Penn State. James Franklin fired. We saw this coming, I think. When he lost to Northwestern, I said, "Oh my gosh, if they don't fire him, there's something wrong with Penn State. They need to get their heads examined." And so we'll start with you, Smoke and Jim. Your thoughts, James Franklin getting fired at Penn State?
I was shocked. I don't know why you give a guy a big contract like that if you're not going to, if you didn't believe in him and if you wasn't going to see it through. I mean, last year, he made the Final Four last year, lost a close one to Notre Dame where they had played for the national championship. He's a tremendous recruiter. Look how many years it took Joe Paterno to get over the hump. Joe didn't win his first national championship till 1982. He had a lot of great teams in between that time, but he could never win the big one. So sometimes it takes a while at a school like Penn State. I was shocked. It would not surprise me if Terry Smith kept the job. It's his job to lose. He got a tough schedule ahead of him. He got some players hanging their head right now, but there's been interim coaches before who end up being hired after the season as the head coach. So
Right.
I look at Terry Smith. He's a good friend of mine. I look at him as this is his opportunity. He's the head coach until they say otherwise, and that's the way I would approach each and every day. And listen, Penn State got a better team this year on paper than they had last year, so it can get turned around very quickly. I don't know why. If you look at it, the UCLA loss wasn't an upset. UCLA is going to beat a lot of people. Once they fired their coach, they've been on fire. I think that young Neuheisel is doing a great job. They might get the best quarterback in the country. Running the program. Northwestern's always tough. Losing at home was surprising. But the biggest surprise, and I think, was how poorly the quarterback played. He was supposed to be the best quarterback in the country, the #1 pick overall. For 4 straight years, he just did not throw to wide receivers. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if he got tunnel vision. He got all the size and arm strength and the knowledge you want, but he just was not productive outside the hash marks. And now he's out for the year. So I think his draft stock could probably go 5th, 6th round maybe. Hey, I was surprised. But I tell you what, if I'm James Franklin and you fire me and you still owe me $49 million, I only got 2 questions for you. You want me to leave through the front door or the back door?
Hey, you know what? We had a media person here in Pittsburgh whose name I'm not going to mention because he never mentions my name or any of us. But he was fired by ESPN Radio at one time, the ESPN affiliate here in Pittsburgh. And he had a guaranteed contract, and he sat out for about 4 or 5 years before he was able to get back on the air. And now he's back on the air, and he's doing real well with an FM station here in Pittsburgh, or in Pittsburgh. And same thing with James Franklin. I'd sit out and enjoy it. I'd take my money, I'd enjoy it, and go on vacation, take a break, and then find out who wants you the most. I mean, we got some issues here, but Brandon, your thoughts on James Franklin, and we'll go into North Carolina's debacle with Bill Belichick and some of these other firings. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. James Franklin got the right end of the stick with regards to his contract. It reminds me a lot of the contract situation, the buyout. As you know, buyouts are the way it goes, but him and Jimbo Fisher, you don't realize Jimbo Fisher, he absolutely banked because, he still gets he has a massive buyout. But here's the crazy stat, too, by the way, for Jimbo Fisher. If he goes to another institution, he gets paid from that institution. Plus, he still is bringing in the money of his buyout from Texas A&M. James Franklin, he has to get a job at another school or a media-related job in order to get the entire amount. And if he makes less than $8 million a year annually, then Penn State will bring the difference back to him. So he absolutely banked with this buyout. But the question that I got to ask everybody is what is the I coached, but what's the point of being a coach unless you get your massive buyout agreement on there? I mean,
right.
You're better off being fired than you are working, it seems.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because you got the alum you got to deal with. You got to deal with the administration of the college or the university. And you know what? If you get on their bad side or something is wrong or somebody's kid don't start or something, they want to run you out. I mean, and that's it can happen. I mean, I've seen it happen. Many college coaches and high school coaches and have gotten fired because of some parent or somebody on the board or somebody on the trustees that oh, my kid didn't start, you know what I mean, or something like that, or that they had a problem with the way the coach blew his nose at at an event or something. You know what I mean? It's just one thing after another. And I knew Penn State was starting to collect. I reached out to some of my Penn State sources, and they said they were starting to collect already to get ready to pay James Franklin to get him out. And but I'm glad that they structured the contract that way, guys, so that he has to go get a job now in order to get that money. And that's a rare way of doing things, but that's the way it is. All right. Brandon can bring us up to speed on this a little more than I can. I watched some videos, reports that came out of North Carolina. Bill Belichick thing is a debacle. I don't know what North Carolina was thinking, bringing in Mike Lombardi and then also bringing in Bill Belichick. I know they wanted to try to change the culture, sell some tickets, things like that. Now this is blowing up in their face, and they got egg on their face, as I always say. And now North Carolina is probably regretting hiring Bill Belichick, and now his team isn't doing real well. He's got, 80 transfers, Brandon? I think it is, close to 80 transfers that transferred over, and now they're transferring out. They want out.
Yeah, they all want out of there because of the toxicity that's there. It's I mean, it is an absolute debacle. You hit the nail on the head, Ralph. So there's a TV station here in the upstate of South Carolina, and they're reporting that the discussions of the buyout is legit, ongoing. The fans they have turned on the program. And I mean, Hulu has pulled out of their documentary that they were filming with North Carolina because of Bill Belichick. Hard Knocks has pulled their contract with UNC away because of how he treats everybody. I mean, it's just a big mess. And the question you just asked there, Ralph, is why did they bring him Lombardi in? I can tell you why. What's his last name?
Yeah, Lombardi, the trophy. Yeah,
Lombardi. That's the only reason why. Yeah, and you're right. That is like putting, two. Let's see how to compare this. That's like putting Beethoven and Mozart in the exact same facility and asking them who's going to play the best. That's kind of what it's like, and it's ridiculous.
Well, that's like I've always used this term, Brandon. We'll get to Smoking Jim in a minute here. I've always used this term. Some people can bake a cake and some people can't. All right. Everybody was happy at Pitt when they hired Dave Wannstedt. I was one of them. Okay. But Dave Wannstedt had never coached in college, but he was able to recruit. He was a good recruiter. And when they brought him to Pitt, I was at the first game that he coached, against Notre Dame and Charlie Weiss. You know what I mean? And Charlie Weiss wasn't that great of a coach. So, Bill Belichick in college at 73 years old or whatever, how old he is. I heard his girlfriend's even causing problems there or something, doing some stupid things. You know what I mean? It's just a big mess down there in North Carolina. And it was a great program. And I knew Mac Brown was going to be sort of on his way out a little bit. You know what I mean? And but it's just sad. Smoking Jim, your thoughts on North Carolina Bill Belichick's situation? Go ahead.
Well, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Bill doesn't have the personality he never did. He's a football guru, very knowledgeable. He comes from football stock, but to go into college in your 70s with a 24-year-old wife or fiance, I mean, I don't know what he.
What is she seeing in him, by the way?
Yeah, that's a good question. Money.
I don't know.
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. a wrinkled tush. But hey, listen, this is a guy. That first game was probably worth some of it to North Carolina when you had all the alumni come back and Michael Jordan and LT came back and everything was blue and white and everything looked good. In the first quarter, they looked great. And after that, everything just fell apart. But, yeah, you cannot give a second year to Bill Belichick. You got to find a way to get him out of there after this year.
Well, he has a low buyout. It's $1.6 million. Okay, so there's no problem there with that. I'm sure Lawrence Taylor and a few other guys can throw some money in there. You know what I mean, to pay for that. And so, but anyway, he has that going for him. I mean, as far as North Carolina has that going for him, which is nice. Like Bill Murray said in Caddyshack, yeah, I got that going for me, which is nice. So, but anyway, it's a nice thing that North Carolina has that going for him because that's about it right now with Bill Belichick. And I saw some reports that, like when you're in college and you coach in college, and Brandon, this, you're a coach, okay, and you're coaching young kids, you need to be rah, rah, rah. Let's go out there and get them. Bill Belichick said, let's go out and play, do your job. And that's it. I mean, and he has no personality. I mean, with the pros, maybe that works, but it doesn't work in college. It doesn't work that in college at all. I mean,
you're coming to influence the young minds, not just say, here, have a good day.
Yeah. Well, let's go out and have a good game and do your job. And that's it. That's his personality. And then fighting with coaches and on the sidelines and arguing with players and stuff like that. And, insulting people, he's not made for college coaching. He never should even got that job. But I get North Carolina's strategy on that. Put butts in the seats, bring in the alum, hype it up. Oh, yeah, we're going to be good with Bill Belichick. But see, it's a whole different breed here. It's NFL and college. And I want to tell you something about Dave Wannstedt. I heard stories that he treated the college guys that he coached at Pitt, like pro players. And they were going out getting in trouble. In fact, at one point, Pitt was number one in the NCAA for troublemakers with athletics in the football team under Dave Wannstedt because he was treating them like NFL players. You can't do that. It's a whole different bracket. It's a whole different breed of thing. It's a whole different broth. It's a whole different flavor of soup. You have chicken soup and then you have wedding soup. You can't have, you know what I mean? You got to watch how you mix your soup up. And, you just can't mix that up like that. It's not going to work. All right, guys. We're going to be ready to wrap it up here because we got to get into Wrestle Talk coming up at 5 o'clock. Lots to talk about. Seth Rollins. Brandon, are you staying or do you have to?
No, I got to prep for my show. And
yeah, that's right. You have your show tonight. Why don't you tell everybody about your show on Tuesdays and Fridays? Go ahead.
Sure. Thank you so much. And by the way, first off, Smoking Jim, I appreciate you and Ralph for having me come on y'all's show. It means the world. But yes, we come on every Tuesday and every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We are live. We are also air on the radio at the exact same time. But we have a really big guest. Tonight's guest. They're in their inaugural season in the FCS level. It's the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley football program. They're 5-1, and the playoff word has been mentioned there. It's a huge moment for them. This school only had a basketball program up, and they just started their baseball program too. But I'm so excited to have them on. But yes, we are on every Tuesday and every Friday at 7:30 p.m. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We have our own website, nuttysportstalk.com as well. Our good friends, Brian Pettit of Tiger Shots Media and Pensman Sports is also members of our show.
Yes, they are. They are contributors. And I've been on the show. So
yes, Pensman is our hockey expert, and Brian is our absolute fantastic statistician. Go and check them out and check us out. If you guys give us a follow, give us a subscribe, we greatly appreciate it. We're only like 23 away from the magic number of 3,100 subscribers. Our year-end goal is to get to 4,000 subscribers. We can do it with everybody's help. And if you guys can, this gentleman right here, Ralph Williams, please subscribe. Go on his Twitter. Let's get him to 1,000 followers on Twitter this year. These guys are fantastic.
Yes. I can't understand it. I know some people who are total goofballs, and they got 6,000 subscribers on Twitter or followers on Twitter, and I don't get it. I don't know. I mean,
we just hit our 700th, and that's taken a long time to get to 700. So it's hard.
Oh yeah. All right. Also, don't forget every Saturday, 2:00 p.m. on 1250 The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier here, Luther Dupree and Claudia Rosano, the Sports Corner radio show. And also, don't forget to tune in on 1250 The Answer, pgh.com. We got a lot to talk about this Saturday, so don't forget to tune in as well. Call your friend, call your cousin, call somebody, get them there listening to the show as well. And I'm going to put the 1250 banner up real quick because I have something. I want to make a special announcement that's not it. Hold on. You know what? I don't even think I have it anymore. No, I do not. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to put this banner up, and I usually don't want to talk about it here because it's not a sports show, but I am. October 26th, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Sunday morning, starting October 26th, the second day of the weekend invasion of the Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show. We're already beating the Big K on the ratings on the Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And now we're going after their Sunday ratings, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. October 26th. I'll have a fresh banner up for you real soon here. I got a couple people making a video and everything on it as well. Starting October 26th, the Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., as well as Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I hope that you will tune in. Coming up next, Wrestle Talk with me, Ralph Williams, and Smoking Jim Frazier. Brandon Keeler, I want to thank you for being part of the program. Thank you. And your final comments before you leave, and then I'll get Smoking Jim's final thoughts. Go ahead.
Let's see here. I'm gonna quote Matt, one of my co-hosts. If you're going to partake in some adult libations, stay at home. Or if you feel the need to go out, get a ride there. We're not going to bail you out. And the last thing you want to have behind you is the whoops, the police, because then you're going to be in a world of hurting. So keep your nose clean and don't get flagged on the game of life. But also subscribe to our guy right here. Follow him. Follow Pinsman Sports. Follow Tiger Stripes Media. And, of course, follow our show, The Sports Sense. And, Ralph, I appreciate you 1,000 times over, brother, for letting me come on your show. It really means the world to me. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome, Brandon. Thank you. We'll be talking again. That was Brandon Keeler from the Sports Nuts show. Smoking Jim, your final thoughts before we wrap it up and get ready for Wrestle Talk.
Hey, great job, Brandon. Honored to have you on. And Ralph, you was on your A game as usual, man. And that's really all I got to say, man. I think we kind of covered everything.
Yes, we did. All right. I'm Ralph Williams for Smoking Jim Frazier. Our guest thank you to our special guest, Brandon Keeler. Those who commented and those who tuned in today, thank you so much for being part of the show. And until next Tuesday, have yourself a great week. And please, by all means, be safe. Thank you.